Good morning, everyone. We are in the Elephant Fest interview with best-selling author Jo Nesbo from Norway. We at Editura 3 had the honor to have you here in Romania 1 year ago, and since then we enriched our Nesbo collection. And we published until now The Sun, the Midnight Sun duology, and the first 4 novels from the Harry Hole series. And Romanian readers love your books. It's no surprise for you because your books are loved in many, many countries. Tell me, please, how is it for you to switch from a Harry Hole novel to a standalone or a children's book? Is it a difficult process? Takes time?
Not really. I mean, I'm mainly a storyteller. I'm not mainly a Harry Hole writer. So I was writing a lot of stuff before I wrote my first Harry novel. So it's not like I'm constantly working on a Harry Hole novel. For me, it's normal to write on other stories. So I've been doing that for years. So I mean, Harry is always there in the background. Of course, I know whenever I publish a book. Normally, it's he gets more attention than the other books. But for me as a writer, I'm just as engaged in my standalone books and my children's books.
Yeah, we stay with Harry Hole, and he's an anti-hero. He suffers a lot. He's unhappy, but he's some kind lovable because he's vulnerable and he's a genius in his work. What is the story behind this character?
Well, it started out as a bad idea. At least if you consider the chances of Harry becoming a character in a long series of books. It was I've been approached by a publishing house because I wrote the lyrics for a band called Thrillere, and they kind of liked the lyrics, so they had the idea I could write. So I had been nurturing the idea of writing something for quite a while. Well, to be honest, ever since I was 14 years old, I guess. Anyway, I was going to Australia for 5 weeks, so I had a break. So I said that, okay, maybe I'll write something for you. We'll see. So I knew I had 5 weeks in which to write something. So I came up with the idea of a crime novel that I thought I could finish in 5 weeks, and this character Harry Hole, which was partly based on a few persons I knew in real life. It was based partly on actually my childhood hero, a soccer player in my hometown Molde, and his name was Harry. And it was also based on some characters from fiction. I was inspired by Frank Miller's Sin City and also Frank Miller's new and sort of reinvented Batman character. So I wrote a novel in 5 weeks, which eventually became The Batman, my debut novel. And it wasn't until I probably started writing my third novel, The Redbreast, that I knew that Harry was going to be around for a long time.
Would he ever be a bit happy? A bit peaceful?
Oh, yeah.
Life?
I mean, the problem with Harry, he's unlucky because his writer has not only placed him in the genre of the detective novel, making him this, sort of romantic, suffering, melancholic kind of character, but he's also in the genre of the tragedy, which means that he has to suffer, he has to go through these ordeals and trials in order to come out on the other side. And who knows, maybe as a better person, or a person that will accept his fate. We'll see.
Okay. You wrote so many novels. Tell me, please, is there any novel that is more important to you? It means more for you than others?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's hard to rank the novels in the which is the best, but I can tell you which is most personal to me, and that is The Red Breast, because it deals with what my family background and the two sides of my family. One fighting with the Germans, or my father fought with the Germans during World War II against the Russians. Russia has a border towards Norway, so there was, among some people at least, just as much fear of being invaded by Stalin as by Hitler. And while my mother's side of the family was fighting in the resistance movement against the Germans who had occupied Norway.
Yeah. Let's take to the children's book. You said in an interview a while ago that Dr. Proctor, as a solitary and romantic nerd, it's like you in some way. How is that?
Yeah. Well, I guess I never set out to write about myself and place myself in the story as Dr. Proctor, but I was asked at one point who resembles me the most in the book. Is it the very little, street smart, wise ass character of Bulla, which is his Norwegian name, or is it the little girl? Well, I guess the little girl is partly based on my daughter. She was the one who sort of wanted this story and asked for that kind of story.
So, do you plan any more books in the Dr. Proctor series?
I've written 5 books now in the Dr. Proctor series, and there's right now there's no Dr. Proctor book in the pipeline, but at some point I suspect I'm going to come up with an idea, and then there will be a new book, but not this year, and probably not next year.
Great. If you would have to make today Harry Hall's favorite playlist, how would it like? How would it be?
What do you mean, Harry's favorite place?
Playlist.
Oh, Harry's playlist today.
Yes, today.
Ah, yeah.
Which songs?
Which songs today? Right. I think it'll be, there's a Norwegian artist called Sigrid, who has made a cover song of Foo Fighters. That would be in my playlist. Also because I know her quite well, but she's a wonderful artist. There would be maybe some old songs. He would probably listen to a somewhat underrated Neil Young album, "Comes a Time," which is a great album, and he would probably listen to Marvin Gaye and be amazed by how much better his good albums are compared to his bad albums. He made some very cheesy albums, but which is just more amazing how good his good albums are. Apart from that, he would probably go back and listen again to Miles Davis kind of blue, because right now summer has come to Oslo, and there's too much sun and too much light for Harry. So he would like something to bring him down again, to feel a bit sad again. And of course the soundtrack to the movie, The Conversation by Francis Ford Coppola, is great. Just playing the piano, it's a great soundtrack.
Yeah. Would you return to Romania in the near or distant future? Maybe just for rock climbing?
I would. I could. I did actually write about Romania from when I was there visiting you. I wrote an article for in a climbing magazine about the climbing in Romania, which of course I really praised Romania, not only for the good climbing but for their hospitality and friendly people, and that you'll see some Norwegian climbers visiting you, being inspired by the article.
Yeah. We are waiting for you anytime you want to come back. And
thank you.
I thank you so much for making time to be with us today. I want to add that Romanian readers will have this summer The Headhunters, your new novel, and I am sure they will like it very much. And of course, they will expect your new novel.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.